Hey, this is James. It's been a while since I've uploaded. Basically, kind of what the title of the video kind of says it all: neuropathy and a broken leg. How did I get my neuropathy? Basically, from pancreatic cancer, chemotherapy from pancreatic cancer. I've had pancreatic cancer. Well, I got diagnosed 4 years ago, and I'm a rare survivor. Um, One of the things I was doing during recovery was, trying to get better, to get back to myself. And one of the things I was doing was restoring the motorcycle and doing some of this YouTube stuff. And so about, it's 2005, February 2005. And we, I was restoring this motorcycle around this time last year, just something to do, make me feel better. It's stuff that I enjoy doing. The thing I left out of the last video I did was plastics, and then I was working up to a vintage motocross race to have fun with it at. And so here's the finished product of getting the decals on that I bought off eBay that someone remanufactured that were period correct for it, and they turned out really good. That looks really sharp. Even the Unitrack ones. I left the patina on the bike here, and everything was stickered correctly. Shortly after this, I took it out for a spin and had a really great time at a place called Jewel out here in Aurora. A lot of the tracks that I've ridden at, like IMI and Jewel and stuff, are kind of a hard pack, a little bit of dusty dirt on top of it. Vintage motocross race was at this place called um, Thunder Valley, which is off I-70 on the way up in the mountains on Floyd Hill, and it's a pretty intimidating track. Has a lot of elevation to it, and they just had were preparing it for the next weekend's IMI race, or excuse me, AMA race, and big motocross event. And so it was a lot of deep dirt, and kind of the Colorado kind of filled dirt where it has a lot of crap, a lot of bark and garbage in it and stuff. And so I wasn't really used to racing in that or riding in that. I've been a rider all my life on Colorado dirt basically, and this is definitely a different challenge for me there. Thunder Thunder Mountain, and the highest point is right up past the tower up there. It doesn't look that high from this angle, but that's the way the camera always works. And this another group before me taking off and going. Real ruddy right through there. A lot of deep, loose dirt. You dig right in. Have to really keep it in low gear, especially on my 125, where I'm a big guy on a small motorbike. But and then right past here, there's another jump into a turn. This is where I broke my leg, right about there. I went off the jump, and most of those guys aren't going off the jump, but it's probably about one of my, this is in the second heat, and first lap of the second heat, so I'd ridden the course in anger probably about 10 laps, and then I basically went off a jump and got a little bit of air, and then came down into a corner and put my left foot down, or I came off the pegs, I don't really know what, and broke my leg. I broke my knee, basically smashed the top of the knee, of the tibia, and I thought I did an ACL to it, and so I didn't. I couldn't put any weight on it. I'd done my ACL before on back in my 30s on an XR 500, kind of going through a bunch of whoops and coming off on the pegs at pretty high speed and snapping my ACL and messing up my meniscus. Had that fixed and was very good. And so I figured, oh well, I snapped it again. But no, the ACL actually held up. And this is just old man on a dirt bike. Yeah, I've done those jumps, yeah, thousands of times, hundreds of times, and yeah, never a problem. I've dumped the bike uh, dumped bikes a bunch of times riding dirt. This time I broke it, and that ended up to me basically ruining my summer totally. Always as you get older, you only have so many good summers left to have fun, and you kind of get in a countdown of how many good summers you have until you're too much of an old man in your 70s to have this fun. So, but what complicated it even worse was my neuropathy. As we see here on these, here we'll get some pictures up of my leg. You can see where I smashed the leg and it's just the trauma from it. But ever since I had been through chemotherapy, your body's not the same, unfortunately, and it I bruise up a lot easier. I went up skiing earlier and had kind of a big wreck on the moguls and landed on my pole and ended up my whole right leg was just bruised, just like I get these crazy ass bruises now. It's on my hands and my feet. If I get cuts and stuff, it's like some strange allergic reaction where it gets infected for a minute and it just blows up into something that never was like that before. But having neuropathy and a broken leg made the neuropathy basically, most people get it when they get type 2 diabetes or has diabetes. And I got it from the chemotherapy. And basically, I can't feel my feet or I get noise from my feet. So my feet always feel like they're frostbite or they're wet or they're just buzzing. And it sucks. Luckily, it doesn't affect me too much now that I'm older on stuff that I want to do. I can feel further up in my leg what's going on. It's a lot of muscle memory. But once I broke my leg, all of a sudden those nerves got massively inflamed, and the neuropathy in my foot hurt worse than the stupid break on my leg. So this knocked me out, along with the recovery needed. I didn't want to gimp around as an old man, so I did everything by the book on recovery wise. I was on crutches for 12 weeks and lost a lot of muscle mass in that left leg. And my wife was mad at me for breaking my leg and going out doing something she didn't want me to do anymore. And so I've ended up selling I actually gave both my motorcycles to my son. And that's where I'm at. Moving on to back to cars. So you'll be seeing some rebuilding my burnt Mercedes. And I picked up a Porsche 944 and I'm doing a micro squirt swap, fuel injection, and electronic coil over plug conversion on those using the micro squirt stuff. Got interested in that, watched a bunch of YouTube. So next couple videos the coming videos I'll have coming out will be over that. Anyway, thanks for letting me ramble, and anyway, be careful on the motorcycles. Hopefully my wife will let me play again, well, maybe on if I can convince her into a KX like 350 dual sport, so I can get some riding in the mountains and stop trying to live like a kid on a motocross bike and enjoy myself again. So until next time, see you later.